I'm a professor at the University of Ancona, but I'm now in a temporary leave and I'm a new director of the Center for Cereal Research in Foggia, that is located in South Italy. My major interest is crop evolution, and the major interest of crop evolution is related to the fact that studying crop evolution is very useful to study evolution itself, as Darwin himself was saying in his books, because crop evolution is a part of the history of the human beings. It's one of the key processes of the origin of agriculture. But not only that, crop evolution is also a way to understand the structure and the organization of genetic diversity. And the structure, and understanding the structure and organization of genetic diversity, we are able to use this genetic diversity for plant breeding, for crop improvement, in a moment where we need new genes, new variety, new traits to face a moment of environmental change and new sustainable challenge. Here you have the major 7 areas where agriculture had been invented between 10,000 and 5,000 years ago. And this is from these areas, farmers selected wild population for adaptation to cultivation. This process is called domestication. Domestication is basically a process of adaptation of plants to a new environment that is the cultivated environment. After that, plants were spread by humans over all the world, and new traits, new environments were being the target of selection of the farmers and of the environment itself. 100 years ago, the systematic selection of modern plant breeding produced a new increase in crop yields and in adaptation, but with a further reduction of genetic diversity. And understanding the structure of genetic diversity of the wild and domesticated pools, which means wild population and land races that are traditional varieties, is a key tool to have new variation to meet the future needs. So we need to preserve genetic diversity in this area to meet the future needs. Second, the main interest of my group in Ancona is the evolution of Phaseolus vulgaris, the common bean, the one that we eat now. And we have studied this evolution, and we were able to identify as the center of the origin of the wild species the Mesoamerican area, Mexico particularly. Then the species moved to South America and reached the north of Argentina. We focus our attention on other aspects of domestication and of the introduction of beans in Europe. The next one. Another aspect that we focus on our attention is the genetic diversity of land races conserved in situ in developed and non-developed countries. This is an example of a study that we did on the landrace population of maize that are grown in Europe. It's surprising somehow that we have still local traditional varieties conserved and grown by the farmers in Europe, and we were able to identify interesting traits of adaptation, and we were able to document a level of hybridization between these land races and hybrid varieties. Next, please. Another work was on Ethiopia, on barley land races. In this case, barley is a key component of the human diet. So it's not just a fancy food to eat like polenta, but now it's a fancy food. Polenta before was not, but it's a key point of human diet. And this and barley is cultivated from 1,500 meters above the sea level to 4,000 meters, which means a strong variation in altitude gradient and environment. And we were able to document that these land races are adapted to the different altitude levels. Along with adaptation was also related to the production of typical products like barley bread and barley beer in this area. Another key point is the role of farmers. farmers usually have a deep knowledge of the material that they grow, and we were able to describe with them the diversity present in the field. So all of this to say that the study and the understanding of crop evolution can be very important in this moment to understand the structure of genetic diversity of plants, the mechanism of adaptation, and to be able to use this information for crop improvement, to have new varieties, new genes, and let's say a sustainable agriculture.
Hi, I'm Sudha from India. I have a question to ask is, there is this issue now of creating gene banks for all the local endemic species in, you understand what I'm talking? Local species that we were talking about, so local species are vanishing. So agricultural universities are trying to create gene banks of these local species. But how much of change in the climate will help in, will we be able to cultivate the same product, same plant again in the changing environment, the climate change per se?
Yes, I think this is an important point, because of course we want to preserve the genetic variation, but of course we don't want farmers to use varieties that are not productive enough. So I think that we have to find a balance, because what we show in our study is that in situ conservation, as you said, is very important, because if we just use gene banks, this is not enough to maintain, let's say, evolutionary conservation of genetic diversity. So we have probably to organize our organization of conservation to do both things. And the good news that we have from our study is that, for instance, the study on maize, is that we don't have to conserve so many varieties. Not everybody has to grow their own local variety, but we can also plan, probably with the reduced amount of population, a good in situ conservation strategies.